Hello class, today we will study about the scanning electron microscope technique. This technique is with the principle that the electron beam is provided by the electron gun or by the heating of the filament, and then they are attracted towards the anode. From the anode they are focused in the form of thin beam of electrons to the condenser lenses, and through the objective lens it is received and then thrown towards the specimen where it interacts, and it gives out different kinds of electrons which are detected by the detectors, and the informations which are given by the detectors, they are just received by the computer hardware and software. So this was about the principle. The construction says that there is the basic component as electron gun that provides us the electron beam. Then in between the electron beam and electron gun and condenser, there is an anode that attracts the electron beam, and then it goes towards the condenser lens. These are in the set of two condenser lenses are there. So there is one set of condenser lens. They are with the function to regulate the spot size and the intensity of the electron beam, and the illumination of the high angle electron beam is also there. This gives us the fine beam of electrons which is given towards the objective aperture. This objective aperture receives the beam of electrons and gives towards the scanning coils. The scanning coil has got this specimen, and this specimen is covered up with the gold or and silver, and which is increasing the electrical conductivity to scan the specimen. This specimen is kept in the chamber, and its chamber also contains the detectors, and detectors are there to detect the X-rays, backscatter electron and Auger electrons and secondary electrons. So these detectors detect these kind of electrons, and the informations are given to computer hardware and software. So this was about the principle and construction of the scanning electron microscope. Let us come to the informations and the scanning electron microscope diagram. So this characteristics information is topography, morphology, composition and crystallographic information that is giving you the various kinds of information, such as this topography gives us the information about how the structure looks like, how the specimen looks like. The morphology tells us about the shape and size. Composition tells that how the elements and the compounds of the object, what elements and compounds are composed in the specimen in relative amounts. Crystallographic information tells us about the atomic arrangement in the crystal structure. In the right side we are having the diagram of the scanning electron microscope technique. So in this you can see that there is an electron gun in a vacuum chamber, and this electron gun is in the form of the blue line. This is attracted by the yellow structure which is called as the anode over here, and then from here the electron beam, see the fineness is there. So this electron beam is fined up by the condenser lens 1 and 2 that regulates the spot size and intensity and illuminates the high angled electron beam. Then this comes towards the objective lens that receives all the electron beam, and then from the objective lens it is focused towards the sample which is kept over the scanning coils, and there is a scanning of around 30 times in a second. Now after the specimen interaction with the beam, there are electrons which are ejected, that is the X-ray electrons, backscattered electrons, secondary electron that are detected by these, and there is also the Auger electron which is being emitted after the electron beam interacts with the specimen. Now next is there that how the SEM works. This I have dealt in the previous slide only. The application says on the left hand side, the right hand side, the application says that it is applicable to get the topographical, morphological, compositional information. It is also applicable for the practical industries and technological applications such as semiconductor inspection, production line of minuscule products and microchips for the computers, and it is also essential for the as a research tool for the fields in life sciences, biology, gemology, etc. So these are the various applications Next, we are having the beam interaction with the specimen. This slide shows the beam interaction with the specimen. So in this, the incoming electron beam is there, which is interacting with the sample or the specimen, we can say. First we are coming to the backscatter electron. These electrons are formed when the electrons are coming out at an angle of 180 degree when electron beam interacts with the specimen. This gives you the information about the atomic number. Higher the atomic number, the brighter the image will be as compared to the lower atomic number. Next comes the secondary electron. This secondary electron is obtained when the incident beam interacts with the specimen to impart energy to a low energy electron that causes an energy loss and changes the path of the incident beam, and this causes the ionization of the electron in the sample for a particular atomic shell. This ionized electron leaves the atom with small kinetic energy and is called as the secondary electron. So this secondary electron gives us the information about the topography of the specimen. Next comes the Auger electron. For this, we will take the reference of the secondary electron. When this is created, that is ionized electrons is being emitted, the specimen is having a vacancy which is filled up by the high energy electron, and that high energy electron adds up the surplus energy. This surplus energy is controlled by emitting outer electron, that is called as the Auger electron, and this gives us about the compositional information of the specimen. This is done by collecting the electron and sorting out the electron energy. Next comes the X-ray. The source of this X-ray is due to the de-energization of the specimen. We remember that secondary electron is the ionized electron. To fill up that, the high energy electron is filling up the space, and to balance that surplus energy, Auger electrons are being created, and these X-rays are basically the energy which are usually created to balance up the total energy of the atom. It has got the utilization as it has characteristics energy which is unique for the element from which it is generated. So this was about the beam interaction and utilization. Next we are having the comparison of the SEM and TEM. So on the left hand side you can see the SEM is there, and on the right hand side you are having the TEM information. So this SEM is based on the scattered electron capture. It is used to study the sample surface and its morphology. Sample should be thick. It gives the information of low resolution. It is used to study the 3D structures, etc. There are the features of the SEM. In comparison to that, the TEM is based on the electron transmission technique. It is used to study detailed internal composition, morphology, magnetic domains, etc. In this, sample size should be thin. It gives out the informations of high resolution, and the sample should be small amount of sample can be analyzed. It gives only 2D structure analysis. So these are the comparative statement of the SEM and TEM. Next, we are having the advantages and disadvantages. The SEM advantage says that it is applicable for the 3-dimensional and topographical imaging, that gives us the versatile information from the different detectors, and it is easy to operate, and the sample requires all samples requires prior preparation, which is at a minimal time, or minimal action is required. Disadvantages says that it is expensive and large and must be housed in an area free of any interference. For example, from interference from the electric, magnetic or any kind of vibration should not be there. Maintenance involves keeping a steady voltage, and currents to electromagnetic coils and circulation of cool water should be there to cool down. If the heating is created, it should be cooled down by the circulation of cold water. Next, the SEM is limited to solid inorganic samples small enough to fit inside the vacuum chamber, and that requires the handling at moderate vacuum pressure. So this was about all the scanning electron microscope technique. Kindly go through the notes also which is provided. Thank you.